Today's episode of Desert Sky Adventures is brought to you by our newest exclusive members on YouTube. If you enjoy our content and would like to help see us into the future, consider joining today for just a couple dollars a month. We are now completely fan-funded and we appreciate your support. Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Desert Sky Adventures, and welcome back to the ghost town of Gleeson, Arizona, a place we haven't been out to for several months. Today, Todd and I are going to take a look around the old ghost town, and as always, we're inviting you guys to come along with us. First stop today is going to be over at the old school. We're going to head that way now.
The color of the steering wheel is 29 on the front end.
All right, so I lied. Our first stop today is actually not the school. It's gonna be right here at the old Gleeson Jail. And this jail is only open on certain days. There is a pretty cool museum inside, but today is not one of those days that they're open. So we're just gonna take a look from the outside. We have filmed the inside of this building in other videos, but this is a historic jail built in 1910 and restored, I want to say in the last 10 years sometime, by Joe Bono, I believe. But you can probably look it up online. They do tours of the jail. It's a really cool museum inside, lots of history you can see. And they also do ATV tours out here where they take you around and show you some of the other stuff that hopefully we're going to see today. But for now, we can head over towards the old school and take a look at that. But yeah, the photo makes this building look huge, and it's really...
It's not that big.
It's not as big as it looks in the photo.
That would sound about right, because you get doors and windows. If these steps can tell stories.
Oh, yeah. And I understand that they took the floor out of this building, and it's actually now being used in the Crystal Palace in Tombstone. I guess when the town died out, there was no need to keep it all here. They reused a lot of stuff back then, so took the floors and repurposed them, reused them.
Yeah, because you can see even all along the top of the wall here where the floor joists were.
Yeah. I'm really amazed these columns are still standing with the amount of monsoon winds and storms and stuff out here.
It's concrete. It looks like there is rebar and stuff if you look at that wall over there.
Yeah, I've found photos where the arch was still going across. And I think that's probably what we see down here.
Could be. Yeah, there's mesh in it.
I'm not sure how long ago the arch came down, but pretty interesting place. Let's take a look around the side. The only picture of the building, I should say, I was able to find was the one that we see from the front. So it's really kind of hard to compare it from any other angle. Look at all these windows. Go around this way. Yeah. The wood frames are still here.
it's hard to tell if these would have been classrooms.
Yeah, I mean, with the next wall over there, this could have been like the cafeteria or something, or where they ate lunch, or
It very well could have been, because you have a side entrance.
really hard to say.
There's the steps that go down. I wouldn't want to walk in there, especially this time of year.
No, it's going to be like rattlesnake heaven.
Can't tell. Oh, that's what they use for reinforcement. Wire cable.
Mm-hmm.
Another entryway.
Yeah, we've showed this building on the channel before, but we've never walked all the way around and looked at everything, so it looks like they had stairs going down in all four directions. Look at the cracks in the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see this is what they use for construction methods.
Instead of what, rebar, like they do now?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of bees. So I was watching a video by our friends at Unearthing the Supernatural. They were doing a paranormal investigation out here. And they were out here in the dark, standing pretty much right over there, looking this way. And they were using, I think it was some kind of night vision type of thing.
Okay.
And they got it on film, but they were over there looking this way, and you see what looks like a person come out of this and walk over here. It's really weird. But they were getting all kinds of readings around this school.
You can see where this foundation wall here fell in.
Yeah. Not too sure what year this was built, but I have a photo from 1930 where this school was still going strong, so been here quite some time. They might have had like a playground or a schoolyard or something out here. It seems weird there'd be steps that come up and then go to nowhere, so there must have been something over here. Best way to get back.
Probably the way we can.
Yeah, we can do that.
You see a lot of this metal. Makes you wonder if it was part of roofing, part of siding.
Yeah, like this,
I
for
believe the
example.
building was concrete.
What's
That
this?
almost looks like a carbide box.
Yeah. Well, we saw a good amount of what was left of the school. Want to head across the highway, see the rest of the town, or at least what's left of it?
Sure.
Let's make our way over there. Well, here we are in another Old West cemetery. I've lost count of how many we've actually visited, but this one fairly easy to get to. It's just right off of the main road into Gleeson. Not quite the trek we had to get to the Charleston Cemetery.
No.
And there's a lot more to see here than Charleston Cemetery as well.
Here's an old one.
I had read a story about a guy that was, you know, way back in the day, a cowboy or somebody who was drinking pretty heavily at the saloon right down the road there. And then he stumbled out of the saloon and he corralled his horse in what he thought was a corral because he was so drunk at the time. But when he woke up, he found that he actually put his horse in something similar to this here. It was a grave marker, a fence around it. And I guess he was so drunk at the time, he thought he was at the corral.
Yeah, but the head's gone totally gone.
I did ask Joe if that was a true story, and he said yes, it was.
This might have been a child.
Very well could have been. Probably some of the oldest of the old. I was surprised to see how many modern graves were out here, though. There's a handful since 2000.
Well, it's kind of like the Tombstone Cemetery. We've got Boot Hill, but then we've got the other one, and it's still used.
Yeah. Little memorial for somebody. I don't see any names on it.
Nope. Primitive. What you would typically see like in Western films.
Yeah. So we are now standing at what used to be one of Gleason's main streets. And probably the most well-known building next to the jail, of course, would have been this one right here. This was Joe Bono's grandpa's store. The general store. And I'm going off of memory here, but I believe he told me that he wasn't sure when this building was built, but he remembers in the 70s this building was still in use. And this was a popular destination if you were here in Gleeson. A lot of things, if I remember correctly, they used to have parties, and there was a bar in here at one time. But of all the unrestored buildings in this town, this one is probably, I mean, I know it's in rough shape, but this one's probably in the best shape out of all of them. So it does have a good amount of walls that are still standing.
That looks like there would have been a fireplace.
Yeah.
This looks like it could be part of the chimney that just fell outwards.
Yeah, for sure. Look at that.
Huh.
So the roof is completely collapsed. Looks like there might be the remnants of an old refrigerator or cooler maybe right there. Looks like a stove.
Some of the original beadboard from the ceiling.
Yeah. See the adobe walls up there. Still there. And you wouldn't want to try to walk on that because you're going to sink right through to the basement. Down to where all the rattlesnakes are hanging out, no doubt. But yeah, a little interesting piece of Gleeson history. I forget the name of this warehouse, but this one actually did burn down, if I remember correctly. And
Makes sense with the lack of debris that's in the bottom.
it looks like they really cleaned it up, because the last time that I was here, it looked very similar to the store over there. Just wood all over the place. And
somebody was unhappy with their cable service.
I remember Joe told me, because this building burned down, like, you know, when he was probably before he was born, or maybe right about the same time. But he told me, like, it basically was kind of like a big hole like this since then. And he said the little kids would go down there and play in here, and their parents would get pissed because they didn't want them getting bitten by rattlesnakes or stepping on rusty nails or anything like that. But kids will be kids, I guess. Let's take a look around the back side. I want to say at one point there were something like 1,500 people that lived here, or 2,000, if I remember correctly.
During its heyday?
Yeah. So most of your goods storage happened right here at this warehouse, or what's left of it anyway. So the very first time I laid eyes on this trailer, I had just a wave of uneasiness come over me. I wasn't really sure why. But I come to find out later that this trailer is known as the murder trailer. You know why they call it that, Todd?
I'm assuming there was a murder.
Yeah, a pretty bad one, actually. So Joe, last time we were here, told us that this was a trailer that belonged to a guy that they called Bigfoot, because he was a really big dude. But apparently, to make a long story short, him and another guy somehow got two young girls to come over here. I believe it was 4th of July, 1992. And I don't even know if YouTube will let me say what happened to them, but let's just say it was really bad, really horrific. And they both ended up losing their lives. Most likely somewhere inside this trailer. Long story short, they were both caught, captured. One guy did life in prison. The other one got 20 years. And ended up dying when he got out of jail. As crazy as that is. But according to the legends, this is that trailer where that occurred. And it's not a place I really like all that much. But it is one of the stops on the tour today, so we're gonna just take a little look around. It's kind of funny, Todd, in doing a little bit of research for this video, I came across I think it was just like a photographer's personal vlog. And apparently he was not aware of the history of this trailer, but he went inside and took a bunch of pictures, and he did a write-up on it about how, I forgot what exactly the words were that he used, but he said that it made him feel very much at home, and he was very peaceful here. And he said something along the lines of, you know, just thinking about the people who used to call this place home, and it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And it's like, dude, I hate to break it to you, but some very bad things happened there. And apparently not aware of it. I did send the guy a message, but I have not gotten a response. But yeah, this is a bad place. I've only run into one guy who swears up and down that did not happen here. But Joe Bono's lived here all his life, and if he says this is where it happened, this is most likely where it happened. Sadly. But just another one of the points of interest here at the Gleeson Ghost Town. All good? We've made our way over here to what some people call the hanging tree. And I think if I remember correctly, they did actually hang a couple people off of this tree. But what it was more well known for was before the jail was built. If somebody was being unruly or causing problems, they would just come over here and strap them to this tree. You can see the chains and stuff are still here. But if there's no jail and they gotta lock you up for the night, come here and strap you to this bad boy. Can you imagine that? See these steel cables wrapped around it. Not really sure what those are for.
Cable, I was actually kind of curious as to what the cables were for.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's a lot of cables.
And it's like in the tree if you look at it. That cable goes right into the tree, so it's clearly been here a very long time. Yeah, look at that, right out that side. That's something you don't see every day. At least you had some shade, though. I mean, if you had to be locked up here. This tree kind of reminds me of the one at the Johnny Ringo site. It's like this tree.
Him leaning up against.
Yeah, this tree has some stories, man. If only it could talk and tell us about them.
Definitely an old tree.
Oh, yes. I think I remember Joe telling me there were reports of like the little kids would come down here and like throw rocks at the prisoners when they were stuck to the tree and stuff because they knew they weren't going to be able to get free. And then in the background over there, probably one of the more modern buildings in Gleeson. Wanna go check it out?
Sure, let's go.
So if I'm remembering correctly, I think Joe told me that this couple that lived in this house here, or mobile home, whatever you want to call it, were one of the last people that really kind of lived in this area. Oh, look at that. That's pretty. Husband and wife couple that lived here. And according to Joe, I guess the lady passed away first. And according to Joe and another couple of people I've heard tell the story, for some reason, he buried her right under that porch. I don't know what the reason for that was, if he was trying to hide something or if he just thought it'd be an easy way to deal with things. But definitely a little on the creepy side. That's welcoming. Should we go in? Hello? Hello?
You first.
Sheriff's Department. It sounds like there's stuff moving around in there. Anybody here?
Yeah, you're like you're gonna walk into a legal.
Looks to be okay. We have been in here before. It's been a while. A little creepy, not gonna lie. But empty. Just another, oh, look at that hornet nest. Even the hornet nest is abandoned. Anyway, let's get out of here. Not a whole lot going on in there.
I was just waiting to see if I heard you screaming.
Well, I mean, there's only so many people that can know about that place, right? Surprised it's not all vandalized on the inside or anything like that. Somebody smashed all the windows out of it, of course, but
Which tends to be the number one thing.
this thing's probably sitting here abandoned for I don't know, remember last time we came here, we found that newspaper inside. It was dated 2006. But
I remember finding a newspaper, but I couldn't remember what the date was.
yeah, it was 2006. But there's no telling if that was from the person that lived there or if someone came later and just left a newspaper in there for some reason. But we'll continue along and see what else we can find.
Yeah. If we stay to the left, it should take us right here and then up.
Right up the side of the hill. Out that way.
One way to find out.
One way to find out. Yeah, this is definitely the way. Remember that pipe right there?
This one?
Yeah, because there's a well right there. See it? I'm not sure how deep it goes, but there's an old well right there.
This is how you go across the wash. Kind of reminds me of a road we went on out by
Pretty much almost there. All right, so we made it up to the top of the hill. And you've not been up here before, is that right?
Nope.
Cool. Let's take a look around. I do remember one of the interesting stories about this raise here. That's what they call this, right? A raise? A rise?
Hoist.
Hoist? Whatever you want to call it.
A raise is underground. Pull the Jeep right in here.
Yeah.
Take a picture next to the hoist. Might do that before we leave. Oh, I can see what you're talking about. This is where the hoist is.
Yeah. So that hoist used to be right on top of this hole. But I was told that... Wow, that's a long way. I was told that people were bungee jumping off of the hoist here down into this hole. And of course they didn't want people doing that, so...
Only got one word to say.
Wow, dude. That is a long way down. Hear the water dripping down there?
Yep.
Oh, hell no, dude. I can't even see the bottom.
I can.
Yeah, that's about as close to that as I'm gonna get.
Hold my hand, I'll lower you down.
I've been up here before, but this is as close to this giant hole here as I've gotten.
Actually, you can see right there, part of the bracket where it was welded
Yeah,
on the other side. And
that's
then
where
the
it
hoist
used to
went
be.
down.
they just moved it back just enough so people wouldn't bungee jump it off it and go down into this hole here. I don't know if I was a bungee jumper, if that's the place I would choose to do it, but... And over here you can see where the tracks... They must have had some kind of equipment here at one time. But the little tiny mine car tracks are still here. sure they had various buildings that were up here. That these ore carts could be pushed.
Here's a split rail.
Hoist it up from that giant hole, put it in the carts, roll it this way. And then whatever was over here. You can see there's a foundation of something over this way too. It smells like sulfur. So there's the jail way down there where we started. And this is where we are now. The area that was once the heart and soul of Gleeson's mining enterprise. Today, this is what's left. Got all kinds of weird stuff left behind. But yeah, you're right. There must have been a train or something that came through here at one time, because there's a chute that empties out. And I think, if I remember correctly, this was the rail bed right through here. Turned here, came down this way, and then trains would have pulled in right about here. Or maybe it was a spur off of the main line. I don't know. But all the tracks are gone, so it's a little difficult to tell exactly where the train would have came through. It either would have been here or it would have been up there behind this way. There might have been a spur that went off this way so they could attach to the main line, but I think the main line went up there. You can see where all the mines used to be.
There's more stuff over here. Makes you wonder what's on the other side of this tailings pile.
Go check it out.
It is processing, which, I mean, they could have had a building right here.
Yeah, it's flat.
It could have been a rock crusher. It could have been a processing, you know. But when you see all the ground the way it is, the chemicals they would have used. There's even like another platform or something over here. That is a long drop.
Yeah, you don't want to fall down there.
I guarantee you only do it once. The weird thing is I can't tell if there's a tunnel or if it's just literally just a pit that just dug out. I'm assuming there has to be tunnels.
I don't think I ever stopped to walk around on this side of things before.
That's exactly what that is.
Yep. Wow. I wonder how old this stuff is.
There's another foundation back there.
Yeah. They had buildings all around. Huh.
Because you could kind of see the back of the pulley system.
Yeah.
But you would have had somewhere in here, you would have had the engine and it would have been belt driven.
Yeah.
Another building.
Pipes?
Yeah, that's rail bed.
Yeah.
That might be what this joins up, because it looks like it's a straight shot.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if these pipes, if this could have been a building for like a compressor room to pump air down in the mines. Because look, it lines up.
Yeah. I think at one point in time there were hundreds of people up here working. Pretty amazing.
And all this, they would have had track. Push the cars and just dump. There's some ties here. No rails on it. But they literally just put the carts here and just dump them.
Mm.
Actually, that's part of a cart right there.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a heavy piece, but that'd be a cool yard art.
It would.
But you see whatever chemicals they were dumping. I mean, it just ran. That's before you had your EPA.
All right, folks. Well, that is going to be where we wrap it up for our look this time around at the Gleeson ghost town, or what's left of it anyway. But like I said before, a place we hadn't come to in a while. I know Todd hadn't been up here where all the mining stuff went down, so we thought we'd come and check it out. But it was a pretty good time. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do us a favor, hit the like button on the way out. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Those things really help us out, and they don't cost you a thing. So, from high atop the Gleeson ghost town, until next time, until the next video, we'll see you down the road.